as Italians, you grew up Italian.
I did. I mean, I'm half Irish, but I kind of feel like I'm mostly Italian.
We're not going to mention the Irish,
We're going to
John.
keep that quiet.
We're not going to mention it. But growing up Italian, when we get confronted with death, it's dramatic. And I don't know if you feel this, and I'd love to know. In our household, someone dies, and in our family, it's a dramatic thing. And what I mean by that, there's always someone at the big wake with tons of people, and she's throwing herself on the casket, and it's like, ah! And it's very dramatic. It really is. And it also shaped how I looked at death.
Mm-hmm.
That affected you in any way?
So I was lucky because I think the dramatic part of, let's say, my grandmother, I didn't know my grandfather. And I heard lots of those stories about what happened when he passed and how she carried on and how she took it. And apparently her sons had to carry her out in the chair she sat in the funeral home.
Boy. Boy.
She couldn't leave.
Yeah.
So they had to carry her out. So it wasn't her choice to leave.
Wow.
It's like they carried her out.
Because she was so in love.
Yes.
Well, that's beautiful.
She had 11 kids, right? My grandmother was just a cornerstone in my life and my upbringing. Yeah. And when there was a death, peripheral, my mom said that we were going to go to a wake. And I was like, what's a wake? So I discovered very young what a wake was. Yeah. And then she told me what, the procedure was. Like, you don't have to go up, but if you want to go up, you're allowed to. And she very much talked me through it. And then she said something like, well, I said to her, are you going to die?
Oof.
And she looked at me and said, yes. And I could still see where we were. Like, we were in Queens. And you know how in Queens, they have the garden apartments. And then there was the big baseball in the circle, right? We were parked like right there on the corner. And I said, you're going to die? And she said, yeah, I'm going to die. And then she goes, and you're going to die? I was like, I'm going to die? I had to be like 6 years old, 7 years old.
Oh, poor baby.
How old I was.
Yes.
And then she said, do you see that tree over there? And I looked and she goes, what's going to happen with those leaves? I said, they're going to turn pretty colors.
Yeah.
And she goes, what happens next? I go, they fall. She goes, and then what happens next? I said, it snows. She goes, and then what happens next? I go, the leaves bud and they come back. She goes, life's a cycle.
Wow. Mom.
So I didn't realize that I was getting a lesson possibly in reincarnation back then as well.
Exactly.
I think she was just trying to explain how there are cycles in lives and families and people are born and people pass. So that was my first memory.
Wow.
And then I remember going to that wake. I don't remember who it was for. I think it was a family friend. And kind of like going halfway up the room to kind of look at the casket.
Yeah.
But I was more interested in the people. I was more interested in how people were reacting.
I think I took the same message. There were interesting reactions go on.
Yes. And I remember, growing up Italian, there's my grandmother's back room where the folding tables and the benches come out. Yes. And then there's the kids' table.
Yep.
And you don't get to the kids' table until somebody actually, whatever.
That's right.
So I was always nosy. Like, I always was like listening to 3 conversations at the same time.
Yeah.
So I remember being at that wake thinking like, well, who are these people and how are they connected and why are they laughing? Like, I thought this was supposed to be sad.
Yep.
Like, did they not like that guy? Like, so I had a lot of questions. I always had a lot of questions. That was my first real experience. And then our family wasn't really touched for many, many years. And then in 1987, my uncle passed. And that was my first real kind of like being thrown into the deep section of the pool. And I saw his passing before it happened.
You did?
I saw it.
How old were you at that time?
I was 16.
Oh, that's tough.
So I had a vision of his passing. I had a vision of his heart attack in May of 1987.
Wow.
And it started, I believe, in October, and then he passed in December.
Oh, interesting.
So that was very hard because I didn't understand why I had this ability to be able to see something like that. And then I can't stop it. Like, what was the point?
Oh, and especially at 16. That's
right.
Incredible.
And then like 2 years later, my mom died. And I was like, wait a second. Nobody gave me a heads up about that. So those are these 2 bookended events for me where death was concerned.
Wow. I want to say the lesson your mom gave you about the tree is beautiful.
Yeah, it was pivotal. I still use it to this day.
I love it. I kind of wish my mom does this thing. Till this day, she goes, if I die, Candice. I'm like, we're all dying. But to her, it's if I go.
Right.
My
grandmother used to be, if God spares.
Oh.
If God spares. I was like, Grandma, God's been sparing every year. And then she's like, one day I won't be here and you're going to miss me.
Oh, man, on that guilt. That guilt comes in with Italians.
Profound message. Miss her every day.
I know. profound.
Every day.
I know, I do too. My grandmother, I lost her at 19, and she was such a force.
Same.
So much that I would meet other kids' grandmas or nonas or whatever their term of endearment was, and that grandmother would be this little sweet thing sitting in a chair and knitting. And my grandmother was completely different. I talk about it all the time. Spike heels, black dress, sexy look, and just telling everyone, screw you, just had energy of like, I'm doing my thing. Got divorced in the 50s. And
wow.
She got the priest in her town told her in Brooklyn, in Bensonhurst, told her, you can't come into the church now because you got divorced. You can't. It's over. So she went, all right, screw you. It was just she was that woman.
She was ahead of her.
Ahead of her time. So I'm going to ask this. This is a tough question.
Sure.
She would say she wasn't a church-going woman.
Mm-hmm.
She was not, especially later in life. She just never wanted to walk into a church. I had communion. She waited outside, smoked a cigarette on the stoop, and got in trouble for all the cigarettes outside. Do you believe there's a heaven?
I do. I don't think I define it in a religious framework or ideology. So growing up Roman Catholic, I did all the same religious classes.
You
and
did the confirmation,
I did
the
it
communion.
All. I was thrown out of religion 3 times.
Stop it.
I was.
Why?
Because I asked questions.
You asked questions.
I asked questions, and people thought I was being I was being difficult. I wasn't being difficult. I had legit questions.
You were curious.
Well, things didn't line up for me. So I'd be like, hold on.
That's a whole nother level.
Like, hold on.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to just accept what they were telling me as like, you believe this.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time with that. So when they threw me out in 8th grade, my mom had to write a letter to the diocese of Rockville Center in order to allow me to make my confirmation.
Oh my God, you rebel.
Yeah. And my mom, once we got the letter in, she was like, you have to stop. She's like, your grandmother is like upset because you are not going to be able to get married in a Catholic church. You're not going to be able to be buried in a Catholic cemetery.
Such a thing.
And
you can't get married at the church.
And I was like, okay. So then once we got that, my mom just looked at me. She's like, just knock it off. She's like, just knock it off.
So did you stop asking questions?
In that capacity, no, I still ask questions. I ask questions all the time. It's my job. My job is to question things universally and energetically. Yeah. I don't just accept blindly that, something's something. When I'm doing a reading for somebody, I want to know who I'm connecting with. Yeah. So I'm going to constantly look for the validation of that person. Even though the person said to me, yes, that's my dad. Yes, that's his name. I don't just go, okay, I'm still going to reinforce that. And I think that's just who I am. Yeah. Like if you were reading me, I want validation from you that you're actually talking to my person. Not superlatives or nice things that you're gonna make me feel good. I don't want to make anybody feel good. I want them to know. I want them to hear a message and go, no, that's my son. Like that's my dad. Mm-hmm. So do I believe in heaven? I believe in an afterlife. I believe in the spirit world. I believe in the other side. The hereafter. There's so many terms for it.
Oh, so many.
I kind of stay away from the word heaven because then it implies hell and then it implies purgatory.
That's exactly
I've
right.
never had somebody say they're in heaven. I've never had somebody say they're in hell. And definitely have never had somebody say they're in purgatory. These are constructs that are man-made that control people or give people a paradigm to be able to work within.
That's right. My mom used to say this thing about kids in my class that were bad. He's going in the red bus to hell. And I'm like, oh, geez, Ma. So as a kid, I grew up in my brain of like, there's a red bus that drives you there, and you go to hell. Terrible that I think of these things, but that's just how we grew up hearing things like this.
But I think people use analogies as teaching tools. Like there was a very famous psychic, her name was Sylvia Brown. I can say she was a friend of mine. We have the same birthday. I've worked with her a number of times. She's now passed. Wow. But she has written, she used to write a book a week, it felt like. And she was originally a teacher. So I think she had a lot of analogies. So one of her books, I'm reading the book and she was writing about the afterlife. And she was a great psychic, but I wouldn't classify her as a classic medium. Right. She got information though about people that passed, but not like in the mediumship way mediumship should be. Yeah. And she wrote a book about the afterlife. And in it, she says, when you get to the other side, choose the left door. So here's me laying on my bed going, the hell is the left door? Oh, dear God. So I contacted a woman named Suzanne Northrup. Suzanne is somebody who's like doing this work 10, 15 years longer than I am. I met her when I was 16. So I said, Suzanne, I'm coming to you. You're like, you're my senior in this work. You're doing it longer. What is the left door? And she said, what are you talking about? I go, in the afterlife, what is the left door? She goes, are you high right now? She's like, what are you asking me? I'm like, well, Sylvia Brown wrote a book and she said, when you get to the other side, you need to choose the left door.
I'm going, is it my left? Is it her left? Who's left? I'm so panicked.
So here's my concern. If someone is concerned about someone crossing over and making it there and being okay and being in heaven or meeting family and friends, and they read something like the left door. Now, do I believe that Sylvia was implying that there's free will and choice and spirit as well? I do. But if there's a left door, there could be a right door. And if there's a right door, there may be a wrong door.
Right.
So now somebody who's grieving doesn't need to be wondering now if they picked the right door.
Correct.
So some analogies we have to always be careful with, right? Or how we refer to things in the lexicon or the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
So saying heaven implies a religious framework.
Yes.
So I kind of feel like I'm painting a portrait of energy.
Yeah.
And how an individual frames that portrait, that's their faith, that's their religion.
Oh, said so beautifully. I mean, you've also said this. You're in the business of grief. What a profession, right?
I like to think I'm in the business of helping people evolve now.
Oh, I like that.
Yep, because I feel like, I basically revealed that I helped an FBI agent for like
the book is fantastic. We're going to put it in the show notes. It's fantastic.
But I didn't solve anything in that, right? I gave him information and he used that in the same way that if I read for someone, I don't fix their grief. I help show them insights and give them information that they can then now work with. And
I
that
feel
helps
like you're
them.
being a little humble on this.
No, I really
I know
believe
you
that.
feel that, but I personally, when I read that book, I was like, the reason these cases are solved is because of John. Like in the back of my brain, because it was like the information was so pertinent to helping him. And
on some cases.
Sure,
right?
okay.
On some cases, but not every case, right?
No.
So like same thing with the reading. Like in every reading I do, the person doesn't always hear every single thing that they want, or they don't always hear from the person that they want.
That's true.
So there's a process, right?
Yeah.
So I have to educate and empower people to understand the world of energy and how they fit into it and how they manage their grief.
Yeah. What's
worked for me, what I have experienced personally, and what I've witnessed for now 40 years of doing this.
Oh my God. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
I hope you know that. I know you don't like to call it a gift. I'm calling it a gift. I'll do it, and I'll say that to your face all the time. It's a gift. But my mom and dad do this thing, and I'm just so curious if you grew up like this or if this is true. Validate this for me. You often use the word validate, and I started using it more since I've met you.
Okay.
And I really like it.
I like it. I've inspired you.
Yeah, you have. Like, I mean, the other day I said to my husband, I'm validating this quiche, but whatever. That's a whole nother situation. My problem. But like my parents will do this thing. We'll be sitting at the table and a gust of wind will come in. Or my mom will be like, I smell orange blossoms. My great grandmother's here. And my husband has this keen sense of he'll walk in a room and he can feel energies immediately and tell me things. I'm a little blocked, apparently. I mean, I just love life, but I'm not like, oh my God, I smell something, cigars, it's this. But are those signs?
Those are definitely signs.
Okay.
Yeah, those are absolutely signs.
Okay.
And signs come in different forms, right? They come in patterns. So you have an established pattern and some type of recognition. So if you smell a specific perfume, then you know that that perfume is associated with that individual.
Yeah.
That's their way of letting you know that they're around. That's called clairalience.
Wow.
That's when you get a clear scent or smell and it triggers that olfactory memory of a person and you go, oh, that reminds me of my so-and-so.
Yes. All right. So that's happening a lot.
So here's a fun story. Can I just tell you?
You can tell me any story, John. This is your moment.
My grandmother had a sister.
Yes.
My great aunt Louise from Staten Island. And she would come spend like 6 weeks with us.
Okay.
I would give up my Friday nights and my Saturday nights and sit at the dining room table to play Rummikub with these two women because it was the best entertainment you could possibly get. If you could take the two guys from the Muppets, Waldorf and Statler, and make them Italian women, that was them.
Stop it.
And they would have a conversation talking about two separate things for about 20, 30 minutes. And I would just wait to see which one was going to figure out that they were talking about different people and they had different perspectives. So I think the first time Aunt Louise came out, and she walked out of the bedroom. It was wintertime because it was my grandma's birthday. Yeah. And there was a ginormous fly, like a ginormous, like summer horsefly. Where this came from, I really honestly don't know.
I hate them.
And I was like, oh, and I went to go kill it. And my aunt screamed out, don't kill that. That's my husband. And I was like, I looked at my grandmother. I looked at my mother. I looked at my other aunt. And I was like, is this like, because she was really funny. Yeah. And I was like, is this a joke? And she's like, no, he shows up and Uncle Sabby comes through as flies.
Oh, poor man.
I was like, okay. I was like, all right. And in my mind, I was like, that is a big ass fly.
That is I don't want to come back as a big ass fly.
But I thought, okay, but that's her symbol,
That's
right?
hers. Right.
That's what she saw that as. It was just it was a really, really funny moment. And I thought she was joking, but she was not joking. She was actually really serious.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
So I did this thing and I'll share this with you. And like I said, I don't necessarily consider myself super connected. I consider myself an energy person in the sense that I'm like, I like his energy. I want to be around you.
Always pay attention to that. If you get a vibe from somebody that...
Yeah, my stomach hurts.
If they superficially come across like one way, like great, but your energy is like going, listen to the energy.
Happens a lot in this crazy world.
Yep.
So thank you for
always trust
validating that.
Always,
I'm going to use it.
Always trust that.
Okay.
Just kind of know like, I'm going to just put them right there.
Yeah, I feel like, okay. I like that he did that with his mug because that's how it feels.
Yeah.
It actually feels that that person.
Boundaries and energy are really, really important. And, Italian families don't have a lot of boundaries, right? I call it the Italian hotline. Like there's something like, oh, this happened. Don't, or if I got information about something, I would be like, I'm going to tell you, this is what I'm seeing about something, but don't say anything. That translates to the entire family knowing and like
100%.
And that's like before Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like that is like the hotline.
Yeah, that's so true. Anyone who says that, don't write. My mom says this thing, don't write it on Facebook. I'm like, what are you talking about? We don't write things on Facebook. Everybody knows. We all know everything. Our whole little family circle knows everything about everybody. I lost my train of thought because I wanted to bring up something. So Katie, if you remember what I was about to say, great. If not, I'm going to keep going. What? Oh, the signs. Thank you. Okay, yeah. So I share this often. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm not the most in touch person, but I am to a certain extent. I had such a hard time trying to have a son, my husband, or a child, my husband and I, Tom and I didn't have a baby name. Never had a baby name because the pregnancies came and went, the miscarriages, the surgery, all the things, anything that someone went through in fertility, I feel like I sort of went through. So part of me is just like when someone else is going through something, I'm like, tell me your story. I can offer you some sort of help, also some sort of relief, because I did finally have a child, but we didn't have a name. And I don't know if this was a sign, but I took it as one. Every surgery I had, and I'm not joking, every time we had to pull into a hospital, anytime I had to do an IVF, the Maverick truck, the Ford Maverick truck would cut us off. Or I'd have to park in a building and they'd say park, and next to us would be a Maverick truck. And it was always there. And Tom made a joke one day and he was like, listen, it's a sign. The heavens or someone's sending it to us that, that's the name. And I thought, oh God. Years later, I finally get pregnant, have the baby, and we didn't have a name really. But the morning of giving birth, they said, park over there. And next to us was a Maverick truck. And I said, I'm naming the child Maverick. That's it. It's done. And that's what I did. And I took it as it was a sign from my grandmother because that's the one I spoke to repeatedly about trying to have a child or getting through this thing. Was I crazy for feeling like that?
No, I think when you see patterns established like that, it's very easy for you to say, okay, the universe is trying to tell me something.
Okay, that's what it felt like.
Yeah, the universe is trying to why is this being put in front of me over and over? I still do it.
You do?
I still do it. They have to really put it in front of me. And I'm going to be like, okay, now you have to back that up with something else. So
I love that you're negotiating with the universe.
Oh, I'm going to get slapped when I get there. I'm legitimately going to get slapped.
John, do you know what you put us through?
I literally feel like, my mom would be like, cut it out, knock it off.
Interesting.
You get the look. I feel like the universe gives me the look.
Yeah, I get the look.
Dude. So my mom had numbers. Her numbers were 927 because that was the address she lived in Brooklyn. Okay. And 721 was her birthday. So constantly, she's like, there's my number. Look, there's my number. Look, there's my number. And I'd be like, you're looking for it. So therefore, you're going to find it. And she's like, no, I'm not looking for it. They just pop up. So I was like, okay. I really believe that she was searching for those numbers and therefore she found them. Well, after she passed, I was legitimately out of light, contemplating if I should go straight or make a right to get on the LIE. So now I'm looking towards the right. It's right in front of the old Loco building. And I hear, there's my numbers. And I get pulled to my left.
You heard it in your ear?
I heard it.
Oh, Jesus.
In my mind's voice. There's my numbers. In that same cadence that she would say it in. And I got pulled to my left. And when I looked to the left, there was a gas station. And the gas prices were iterations of her numbers. And I had this moment of oh my God, that's so cool. I'm glad that you're here. And no, don't do the number thing with me because I'm a little too OCD. Because I would be then now looking for it. I was like, and plus I do numerology and I'll be adding the numbers up. I was like, so take the numbers off the table. No numbers for me. Don't do numbers, right? So now, a few years ago, I'm on a tour. I'm doing events. And there was an issue with the hotel I was staying at. I had to move hotels. So I moved hotels. Okay. And the hotel I got moved to was under construction all around it. So 3 sides of the hotel were under construction. It took me 20 minutes to get from a parking lot to go through 3 lights.
Oh my God.
And as I make this turn, there's a light and it's green. And there's a small yellow school bus. And it starts to go. So now I'm moving and then it hits its brakes at a green light. There was nothing there, no cars, no people. I almost hit it. And just when I looked up, looked at the back of it, it was my mom's numbers. It was 9217. And I was like, and then all of a sudden the bus goes through a yellow light, a school bus going through a yellow light. So now I have to stop at the red light. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, that was cool. I get it. but you know I don't like the numbers, right? So I'm being a smart ass.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, of course.
I'm acknowledging her, but I'm like, I don't like the numbers.
You're like, give me more.
And then all of a sudden I got pulled to the street sign, and I looked at the street sign, and the street sign said Pan Coast Street.
Yeah.
My daughter would say, like, your body took a screenshot. I had like one of those moments. My mom's lung cancer tumor was a Pan Coast tumor. Yeah. And I was like, that was good. I was like,
you're like, one, universe,
that was like
zero, John.
that was a mic drop moment from the afterlife. And I felt like, I actually felt from the car like,
oh,
like,
wow. Ooh, I just got to chill. Okay.
So, but look what had to go into that.
Yes.
I had to move hotels.
Well, you were also testing the universe too.
I'm always testing the universe.
Which I love. I think we should all do that as humans in some way, because I think we have that right. I just don't think we have stepped into our power to do that the way you have so beautifully over the years. I'm going to tell you a quick story that make you giggle.
Okay.
I was so excited, of course, to sit down with you. I mean,
I feel like I know you forever.
I know. Very odd. I think we might have known each other in a former life.
We're probably going to find out we're at like a similar party somewhere.
Are we related?
Could be.
I don't know. I just feel like I know you. And maybe I think you also probably have that with a lot of people on their side. I think a lot of people feel like they know you because you just are this perfect, beautiful energy that I love.
Thank you.
So I understand why people would feel that way. So I feel that way, but I'm going to take it that you feel special about me.
I do.
Let's just go along with that.
I'm sitting here.
That's true. That's true. That's true. You are sitting here. God bless. But this morning I was so excited to interview you and sit down with you. So last night I couldn't go to bed like super early like I normally do. Like I'm a grandma. It's like 9 o'clock. I'm like, I'm going to bed. The computer's shutting down. My brain is over. But I stayed up and I fell asleep, and I woke up this morning. I have a thing with my grandmother. 5/17 is my father's birthday. Before she passed, she said to us, 5/17, when you see it, I'm there. Think of me, think of me. Now I see it everywhere I go.
Okay.
My husband sees it everywhere as he goes. Even when he's not with me, Tom will be like, I saw 5/17 today. Is something happening today? I was like, I don't know. This morning, I shot up because I was like, I'm just excited. And I went over to my phone. I never sleep with my phone next to me, but I did last night because I was making notes for today. And I turned it on and it said 5/17. And I had a giggle.
That's so cool.
Because I was like, she knows I'm coming to talk to you.
So now I'm just
And that's
curious.
just so
Do
beautiful.
you accept any other iterations of it? Like, would you accept 715 or 157?
I've started to because
You're kind of tying your hands with 517.
I am. I'm totally tying. But things like my bank account. Sorry, I'm not giving my full number, but 5/17 is in the number.
It's pretty amazing how the universe can communicate with us.
Yes.
And sometimes it's in a like slap you in the back of the head kind of way where you're like, is that like a coincidence? No, that's synchronicity.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
It's mind-blowing. And just when I think, not that I don't think there's miracles, I do, but just when, listen, God tests you a lot, right? I don't understand when certain things happen, or the universe. I don't understand when someone, I had this conversation with Lorraine. She was on the podcast. And she said to me, sometimes I don't understand God. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, I don't understand. I went to a funeral recently for a 15-year-old boy. I don't get it. I don't get that. I'm mad. And I giggled because of how she said it, but the subject matter was so heavy, right? Or my mom will say something like, I don't understand God. Why would they take this person? And my question to you is, do you ever, you who test the universe all day, which I love, do you ever question it? Like, why is this evil happening?
I always question it.
Because I'm wearing my Maloikia, as they my evil eye.
I legitimately always question, like, why? But I already have, my bias is I already know that there are lessons. And I already know that when events like that happen, it is a catalytic moment for change in the lives of the people that it touches. And we have to start with and I apologize for being crass, but it's a baseline of shitty. We're starting with a baseline of shitty.
That's right.
And then what we do with that is really significant. Some people do amazing, magnificent things as a result of that.
Yeah.
And then some people get stuck, right? And that's where free will comes in. Yeah. And it's not ever easy. Like last night I went live on Instagram. I don't really do a lot of Instagram lives.
I peeked at it for a second. My husband, I literally go, I never see John live. I was like, this is so special.
I never go live on Instagram.
How was it?
I got pulled to go live on Instagram, and I went to go pull somebody up, and I didn't know how to do it. So
it's a lot.
I went to go pick one person, but as I went to go hit her name,
did the feed?
It shifted and I hit somebody else. So I said, okay, well, this is the person I'm supposed to read.
Interesting.
And I brought through, her cousin who had just passed. Wow. I brought through her mom and dad. I brought through her father-in-law, but her son came in. And I've been doing this a long time. I've worked with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But the way she acknowledged her son, she goes, it's 9 years and 4 months. Today's his anniversary. I will tell you that when that was over, I went and laid on the couch, said a prayer for her son, said a prayer for the family. And it felt like the connection, the experience for me was, I literally texted my kids. I said, it was echoey for me. It felt echoey.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like it wasn't like I did the reading and I was done. And a lot of times I do the reading, I'm done. Like my
I mean,
energetic boundaries are really good.
Yeah.
But that they touched me in a way that was so moving about their grief. And, 4 decades of doing this, and I still have that reaction because I see the magnitude of what loss does.
Yeah.
And whether that loss is a loss of a person physically, or it's a divorce, or if someone's grieving another relationship, like there's a lot of different levels of grief, and people don't give themselves the opportunity to get into the weeds of their feelings of it. Yeah. They've got to go to work. They've got to take care of the kids.
True.
They've
I don't think we know how to grieve, a lot of us.
Right.
Yeah.
So really getting into the understanding of this is really, really helpful to give yourself permission to be able to feel and deal, and that helps you heal. So those 3 things kind of go synonymous.
Which is hard.
It's very hard.
And
there's no time. Like there's no I don't like the word closure. When people say like, I'm looking for closure. If you do a reading for me, I'm going to have closure. I'm like, no, you're not. If I do a reading for you, you're going to have connection.
Right.
Closure is not something I think that we should be seeking. Yeah. I'm not a therapist, but I will say this all the time. I don't think closure is the word.
Kind of feels impossible to have closure, right?
Closure feels like you're putting a period to the end of your relationship.
Correct.
And I don't see periods when it comes to relationships. I feel like we want to make sure that we're adding a comma, a dash, semicolon, ... ellipsis.
And we still talk to them in our house. My
Sure.
mom literally goes, "Ma, where did I put my keys?"
And how cool is that? And those are the things that come through in readings that I love. Yeah. There's the big moments when somebody's name comes through and how they passed, but I like when there's these subtle, trivial, mundane things that just current events that happened. I'm like, there was a woman in Madison, Wisconsin that I read for, and her son came through. Yeah. And he showed me that she didn't like the laundry detergent that she bought, and that she's a creature of habit, that she always uses this brand, and the brand that she bought that was on sale, every time she does laundry, she complains and she doesn't like it. And she's like, she didn't say yes or no. She goes, he sees that? Yeah.
Wow.
And I said, yes. And if he could see that, that means he sees everything else. So sometimes the most trivial, mundane validation is just spectacular. I love those.
Oh, that's the best, actually. I'm going to ask you this last question because I will talk to you all day. You know that, right? So when I can't, you have stuff to do, a life to live. If someone's listening right now that has lost someone, what would be something you would want them to know?
I want anybody that's watching this or listening to this right now that's incurred any type of loss to know that their loved ones and friends are absolutely okay, but we're not. They're okay, but we're not. And we have to work on being okay. And we should try to work on being 50% of the equation. Try to be like communicative with them. Yeah. Don't just be expectant of where's my sign, where's my dream, where's my butterfly, where's my cardinal, where's my feather, where's my whatever. Do something in honor of your relationship. And that might look like writing a letter to them or continually writing emails to them where you're creating a bridge between you and them. Yeah. Be proactive and active in your grief. And I'm a big proponent of this. If anybody's in the first year of loss, I will always say it's like the coasting year where you go from month to month, birthday to birthday, anniversaries, holidays, you get through all of it. And usually you have some type of support, some level of it. But then the second year happens. And I don't think people talk about this enough in the grief world. The second year comes along and there's this false sense of you've completed a year. You've completed the first, you've completed a year. And this false sense of security is that the people that helped you kind of go back to their lives. Yeah. And it's like, okay, we got her through that. Yeah. We got him through that. Yeah. And now you're sitting in this real raw energy because it has been a year and you have done all the firsts. Yeah. And now you may feel worse. You may feel more isolated. You may feel like, what's wrong with me? I've already done this.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with you. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with you. So I always say, create some sacred space, give yourself some grace, and allow yourself to feel the feelings. And if the people that gave you the support are not there, and specifically for parents who've lost kids, if you guys are listening or watching this and you know anybody who's lost a child, one, say their name. Say the kid's name. I don't care if it's been 35 years. Mom and dad wants to hear the kid's name. They don't want you to avoid it. Say his name.
People think we have to avoid it because it hurts too much.
And unfortunately, when people are going through hard, difficult losses, sometimes the people that are closest to them kind of like ghost them.
Yeah, they don't know how to confront. Like,
they can't handle it. They can't handle what they're going through.
It's true.
It's like you can't catch that. Like it's not something that's contagious.
That's right.
But yet they treat people like it is.
Yeah.
But the universe usually does something magical. They'll send in a person. They'll send in another energy that shows up that you didn't know that you needed, that helps you navigate the loss and shows up. And they might be like, waiting on the street for you. And then you're like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing here? Like that type of moment.
Yes. The universe is smart.
The universe is pretty smart.
I will say. But I love that you test it, and I want you to keep testing the universe for all of us.
I think that's how I'm wired.
It's all right.
That's how I'm wired.
John. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
chatting
having me.
with me.
Thank you.
I just think you're an amazing human, and what
Thank
you
you
do for people grieving, and for my whole family. I mean, my entire family grew up talking about you. From my aunt who met you in Staten Island in the basement churches.
Oh my God.
That's Aunt Phyllis.
Oh wow. Aunt Phyllis.
Aunt Phyllis.
I
all
remember
the
Aunt
way until, today, coming to your live events. So thank you.
Thank you.
And you are now officially part of the family, dude.
I accept.